The Amazon River stretches across thousands of miles of dense, unbroken rainforest. It's an ecosystem famous for harboring some of the most imposing predators on the planet. When we think of danger in these waters, we usually picture massive, visible threats. We imagine the crushing coils of an anaconda or the silent, stalking presence of a jaguar on the riverbank. Yet, if you ask the people who actually live along these banks what they fear most, they rarely mention the giants. Instead, they warn you about something you can barely see. Meet the Candiru. It's a parasitic catfish about the size of a matchstick. Its body is translucent, incredibly fast, and built like a living hypodermic needle. In this environment, total invisibility is a more lethal asset than raw size or a crushing bite. That near invisibility does come with a biological trade-off. Swimming through the thick, muddy currents of the Amazon, the Candiru is practically blind. To survive, it evolved an acute olfactory system. This diagram shows how the parasite navigates. Instead of using sight, it hunts for the specific chemical signatures of urea and ammonia drifting through the water. In its natural life cycle, the Candiru tracks these chemicals to locate the gills of massive host fish, like this Amazonian catfish, slipping inside to quietly siphon their blood. But every so often, a human wades into the murky shallows, and if that human decides to relieve themselves in the river, they make a terrible mistake. Urine is packed with urea and ammonia. By expelling it into the current, you accidentally mimic the exact chemical output of a catfish, paving an artificial, invisible highway straight to your most vulnerable extremities. The moment those chemicals hit the water, the Candiru locks on to the gradient. Its singular focus is to reach the source of that scent at all costs. It aggressively whips its body upstream, fighting against the outflow of liquid, accelerating through the muddy water like a tiny living torpedo. And then it breaches the target. The fish swims directly up the stream of fluid and enters the human urethra. You are suddenly struck by a sharp, burning pain, accompanied by the unnatural, claustrophobic sensation of a live organism actively wriggling its way up your internal anatomical pathways. Millions of years of evolutionary instinct meant to find a fish gill have suddenly crossed wires. You haven't just been attacked, your own biology has been turned into a trap. If you feel a parasite entering your body, human instinct dictates one immediate response. You try to grab it and pull it out. But the Candiru is prepared. This cross-section reveals a defense mechanism behind its head. Feeling a backward pull, gills flare outward, deploying microscopic backward-pointing spines like an umbrella. Tugging only forces these razor-sharp hooks deeper into the tissue. You cannot pull it free. The very panic and force you use to remove the parasite is exactly what executes its permanent lock. Safely secured inside, the Candiru begins to feed. It bites into the surrounding flesh to drink human blood, causing its thin, clear body to rapidly pulse and slowly swell into a bright red mass. As the parasite gorges itself, its expanding body presses against the sensitive internal walls of the host, sending waves of excruciating agony through the body. At this stage, your options are gone. The human body has no natural mechanism to expel the fish, and there are no home remedies or chemicals that can safely dissolve it while it is deeply embedded in your flesh. There is only one viable solution left: immediate, invasive surgery. A doctor must physically cut the organ open and carefully extract the barbed fish by hand. Surviving a millimeter-scale invader comes with a heavy cost. You must undergo a surgery that deliberately mutilates your own body. Looking out over the vast, majestic expanse of the Amazon today, the waters take on a much more sinister context. We instinctively scan the surface for the heavy ripples of a reptile or the massive silhouette of a snake, expecting nature's best weapons to be defined by sheer size. But biology is rarely that straightforward. Millions of years of microscopic adaptation have produced invisible threats that are far deadlier, simply because we stumble into them completely blind. So if you ever find yourself traveling deep into the rainforest and you decide to take a swim in those murky, warm currents, remember the Candiru, and whatever you do, hold it in.